Yeah, I've been running around a lot over these last 2 or 3 weeks. Been only able to do a couple of tequila Shabboses and a few other things, but we're going to hit you with a whole bunch of videos here over the next week. Not that much has really changed. When it comes to the election, I said, 2 months ago, all that matters is really the first debate. It looks like that's going to happen. We're going to come to that. This video is about, I think his name is John Stumpf, the CEO and chairman of Wells Fargo. Did you see his performance today in front of the Senate Banking Committee? I can't believe how horrible this man was. Anyone who's been following us, read our website before we went video and then with video, we've always been very, in many ways, sympathetic to the banks. We thought that the government was just as negligent as the banks were in the way the Great Recession came on, almost the crash, the real estate crash itself in the late 2000s. The banks blew it, but the government blew it also. It was horrible. And then the solutions government came up with were horrible. We put out there we thought would have worked, and I still think it would have worked. Government, of course, blew it, and then, of course, you give a lot of money to the banks and sue them and take it back. It really made a lot of sense. It's like a circle. It just really made a lot of sense. But this guy comes on. I don't know if all of you have seen this, but the Wells Fargo basically ripped off many customers, thousands, maybe, I don't know how many, but there were 2 million accounts that were involved that were illegally opened. It looks like a fraud type of situation, but it came from the top. They were always pushing that they were cross sellers, making big money being a cross seller over all the years from the late 90s right all the way through now. And then we're pushing their employees more and more, especially it appears the last 4, 5, 6 years, to sell accounts that people didn't use. These accounts came on, and about 5,000 some odd people have been fired. But this is the great thing, and not great, the absolutely crazy thing. What this guy was doing, great if you're talking Saturday Night Live. This guy comes on, and it comes out that these 5,000 some odd people who got fired basically averaged $30,000 to $60,000 of income. He said it's a good wage. Yeah, it's a good wage. He fired all those people. Nobody at the top got fired. Nobody. This guy makes $20 million a year. How much did he make over the last 10, 12 years? The woman who ran the division gets $120-some million for retiring. If she didn't retire, she would have had at least $40 million less, and then they could have been talking about clawbacks with the rest, or maybe even not giving it to her. Nobody got fired at the top level. Nobody. Zero. Zilch. And every time the senators were asking Mr. Strumpf this stuff, and I'll tell you, it was Elizabeth Warren who really piled on at the end. It took him down. You should have seen what he looked like. All he kept saying was, "Are you going to give any of your money back? I have to leave it up to the compensation committee." Well, you are the CEO and chairman, aren't you? Yeah, but it's hands off. I'll do what they do. Are you the boss, man? You are taking $20 million a year. Who knows how much you've made over the last 10 years? You've run all around everywhere. You've told everybody you're the greatest bank around. You tell everybody you're doing all this cross-selling, all this money's being made. You fire all the lower-level people. You fire them because it's all their fault. They're just trying to make a couple bucks. And you don't take a hit. You don't get fired. You don't quit. The woman who ran the division makes $120 million, and she can walk away with it, and you let her retire, and it's all up to the compensation committee? Where does the buck stop? He says it stops there. No, it didn't. It's going behind him. It's one of these people. It's their fault. It's their fault. The buck stops here, but there's nothing I can do. I can't do a clawback. I can't take the money back. I can't do any of it. I got nothing to do, but hey, Elizabeth Warren eviscerated him. The other senators eviscerated him. He walked out with his tail between his legs, which is the way it should be. Because when the big boys on Wall Street rip off people, they should pay for it. And this is why so many people are unhappy, upset, and this is what leads to a conclusion that a person like Donald Trump may be necessary. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I can understand why all the, what do they call them, the great unwashed, how you call people this kind of stuff. These people, the deplorables, all these people, they understand, they see it. We have another whitewash going on here, and this guy gets to walk away in his well-tailored suit, beautiful haircut, happily walking away with this $20-some million. What's going to happen? These guys got to be taken down. Peace.